Hey everyone, it's Anna from Anna So Loves Bananas, and today it's episode 2 of A Beginner's Guide to Sewing. So today we're going to be learning all of the feet and what they do. Well, we're going to be learning what all the feet do. So I have a list of their names, their letters, and I'm going to show you what they do. And we're also going to practice stitching a straight line. Let's get started. Okay, so the first foot we're going to use is a button foot. So we're not actually going to use this one, but this is what it looks like. This is a button foot, and if you watched one of my previous videos, you will know that you put the button in of size right here, clamp it down, put it on your machine, and it will sew a buttonhole for you. So that's what the button foot is for. So it's actually called a buttonhole foot, but that's what that one's for. We're not going to use it today because I currently don't have any buttons with me, but that is that foot, and it sews the buttonhole for you. Now, the next one we're going to do is called an overcasting foot. So that is foot G. Here it is. So this one you put on your machine and you line it up right with the edge of your fabric on it, and you use a special overcasting foot, and it makes your things look more your items that you've sewn more professional, and it might make it look a little bit better and cleaner. So that's that foot. Okay, so the next foot that we're going to be using is the R foot, and it looks like this. Now the R foot is called the blind stitch foot, and you line it up right with your fabric and it will sew right along that edge. So that's why it has this down here on the back, right here. See that? So that's what you line up with right on the edge, and it sews straight across. Or whoops, sorry, that's sideways. Straight across. And that's called the blind stitch foot. Sorry about that. Now the next foot is called the zip foot. Zipper foot. So zip foot for short, but it's actually called the zipper foot. And that is foot I. And you don't just use it for zippers, it's also easier to get straight to the edge and see it better. So this is what you would use to sew on the side of a zipper. We are also not sewing with this one today because I do not have a zipper. I will go out and get one and do a tutorial on how to sew a zipper in a future video. But for now, we don't have one. But I can show you how to sew with it. I just won't be sewing a zipper. But that is the zip foot. And the next foot we have is J, which is the zigzag foot. So you use this one for straight line as well. That's what this one came right off my machine, so we can be sewing with this one. This one either sews a straight line or a zigzag line, and can also sew a type of overcasting, overcasting stitch. So that's the type of foot that this one is, and I use this one almost every time I sew. I very rarely switch it unless I do need to, and that is that foot. So the next foot is Q, which is another foot I won't be sewing with because it is the embroidery foot. If you have watched another one of my videos, then you have seen me use the embroidery foot and how to install it. So if you need to know, go to my embroidery process video on my channel and check that one out. And then we will have and then you'll see how it embroiders, but we can't sew with this one today. So the next foot is M, the button fitting foot. Now this one and the buttonhole foot are great together because this one, actually I had it upside down, this is how you hold it. And the button will go right in here. Actually, if I probably look, I'll find a button because I really want to try this one out. I've never tried this one out. But the holes go right in here. You use a zigzag stitch for it. And when you put it on, it will zigzag and sew the button on. So no more hassling to use a needle and thread to do it, which will really help me because I spent almost like 30 minutes trying to just tie a knot in the back of my thread to sew a button. So that is super helpful for me. And the last foot we have today is in the monogramming foot. So the monogramming foot is not necessarily like an embroidery. It's more of a nice design foot. So it has a nice open edge, open toe here, and it has, if you can see, it has a nice little open edge right there for the needle to go through to sew beautiful designs. And I will show you how to sew that one today. So let's start sewing. Okay, so the first foot we're trying today is the normal foot, which is the zigzag foot. So this is foot J. So that's the first foot we're going to be using. And I'm just going to go ahead and put my stitch on a straight stitch. So this is just going to be straight. Let me thread my machine real quick, and we'll get right started. Up, down, through here, up, and around, cut. Oh, sorry, didn't do that last part right. Through there, up, and cut. Nice. Okay, now we're ready to sew. So here is my piece of fabric. Put my presser foot down, just sew. Oh, sorry. Now I gotta change the bobbin thread, which is a great learning experience. So this is a bonus. So I don't even have a bobbin in there, which I always should. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab a bobbin. I'm just going to grab a black bobbin because I currently don't have a white bobbin threaded, but black is a-okay because we're not sewing a project. We're just practicing. But always have your threads matching. So this black thread, you thread through here, around this little plate thing, and go through and cut. Perfect. Now, go ahead and close that up. Now, let's go ahead and sew. So you always need a bobbin to sew or else it won't stay, your stitches won't stay in. So always make sure you have a bobbin or have a machine that tells you who don't have one. Okay. Okay, are you ready? Back stitch. Straight down. Back stitch again. I'm back stitching because all good sewers always back stitch. So here it is. That's our stitch. You see that? Oh, sorry. There's the back of it. It's a little bit messy in the back. There's the back of it. So that's just the normal stitch. So now we're going to angle back over here and we're going to do a zigzag stitch. So we're going to go ahead, put this down and zigzag stitch. that time I did not backstitch on the end, which is okay because again, we're not doing a project, but it is always good to backstitch. So never get out of that routine. So here this stitch is, it's the zigzags right here. See that on the front? Here, let me change my tension really quick because it's not tight enough, is it? And this is the tension bar if you have forgotten. So mine was on a 3 and I needed to change it to a 4. So that's what the tension bar is, just for a reminder, because again, this is a nice little tutorial. So now we're gonna switch the foot. So these are all just snap-on foots, and there's a little lever back here, right here, that you can press and it will drop your foot. So all the feet have little bars that you snap on. Very easy. So the next foot we're going to use is foot in, which is the design foot. I call it design foot. It's actually called a monogramming foot. But we're going to try that one next. So on my screen here, we're going to go out and we're going to go to this one right here. And we're going to cancel the, so okay to select current pattern, A-okay. We're going to do just a simple line. So this is a thick line, but we're going to do it, it's a thick squiggly line. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to go from this angle. So this one's going to take a little bit longer just because it is a thicker stitch. So it's going to take a little bit longer. And this one you don't need a backstitch because of how thick it is. Oop. Whoops. Guess I made my tension a little bit too high. That's okay, but we can change it again. So this is it. It's just a squiggle line, but it's thicker. So I'm gonna change my tension down to a 3.5 because of how much this is going through. So let's go ahead and go to the next foot. We're just gonna press this back lever here and it drops the foot off. So the next foot we're gonna use is foot I. So foot I has 2 places that you can put your foot, either over here or over here, because it has this little bar in the middle, so you can't put it directly down the middle. I'm going to go ahead and put it where the I is. Sorry, next to the I. Brain fart. And we're just going to snap this in. This one's smaller, so it's a little bit harder for me to get my fingers in there. Push it in. But once you get it in, it is in. So for this one, I'm going to sew right along the edge of the fabric just to show you how close you can get. So I'm right on the edge. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to a simple line. You would usually use this one for a J foot. Here, let me see if there's a okay, we're gonna actually do a 3-stitch. So it's a very thick straight line. So let's go. And when you're starting to sew, never go this fast. Okay. So now we're gonna cut it. Take that out. Okay, so here we are. Oops, sorry about the rocking there. That's how close it can get. So it's about, I don't even know how far away it is, but it's very, very close to the edge. simple stitch. That's the tension changing of her. So now we're gonna just drop this foot again, and we are going to go to the next foot, which is R. So the R foot is also a way to get very close to the edge. Sorry, I'm just looking for a good stitch to use for this one. I think we're just gonna go with a very slight zigzag. So it's gonna be a very small zigzag, but it's going to still be a zigzag, you know? So this one is also one where you can get very close to the edge with your foot. So we're gonna go right under here. Sorry. Put that right on the edge. Very slight zigzag here. And then we're gonna stop, cut. Oop. Oh no, okay. Well, that got a little bit stuck in our foot. Maybe I didn't use the foot correctly. I think this one was my bad. Yeah, I just don't want the whole thing. I've never used this foot before, so don't take after me on using it. Use another YouTube tutorial to do this one. I will do a little bit more homework on foot R, which is this one, and I will show you guys in the next tutorial video how to use that one, because I currently cannot use this one. So that one didn't really do a stitch. So now we're going to do my overcasting foot G, snap that right on, and sorry, didn't snap it on all the way. Go ahead, snap that on, and we're gonna put this on the other edge right here. So this one's an overcasting foot, so we're gonna do an overcasting seam, or stitch, not seam, sorry. So on my machine, it's in the 1 section, and my machine is the Brother SE600 sewing and embroidery machine. So mine is 1-14. That is my stitch, and I'm going to bring the length down to about I'm gonna bring my length down to a 2, and I'm gonna bring the width down to a 3.5. So, and then I'm gonna press OK. Now we're going to sew. I have not used this one either. Okay. Looks good to me. But it got stuck again. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that foot off as well. So let's see what the problem is here. So we're gonna go on the light of my machine. Oh, okay, so these last few threads right here got caught on the bottom right here. There's a little peg right on the bottom of it. It just got caught there, and that did mess up the stitches a little bit. But here's the overall stitch. It looks pretty good for my first time. And that's that stitch. So now, since we've already taken that foot off, we're gonna go ahead and do the last foot, which is in. So I did find a button. So we're gonna use that button. And we are just, sorry. Ooh, whoa, okay. That is not good. Sorry, that just came off. which is not supposed to happen. Oh gosh. Okay, let's go ahead and fix this, shall we? Tighten up my screw a little bit. Oh gosh. No. Ah. Okay, let's see, can we figure out how to put this on? Unscrew this. This is very, very difficult. Okay, so you can't see, I'm in here, right over here, trying to get it on the screw. I need like 5 hands for this. Okay, so I'm not sure if my foot will go on right now. Okay, so I having some serious troubles. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and get my circle screwdriver. And I gotta unscrew this. Ah, okay. We did it! Woohoo! Okay. So now, let's put the foot on. We did it! Okay. So now, we're gonna go ahead and tighten up that top bit. So I think what the problem was, the screw was too tight on it, and I needed to loosen it to put it on, and it fell right into place. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten that up so it stays on. Okay, let's get back to this. So let's get my button. Where did I sit that shitty button? Where did I set that shilly button? I put it in my sewing bin here. Nope. I think I put it. I think I dropped it. Okay. We could just get it in. That's okay. So we are going to use a 2-hole button foot for this one. So set you back a little bit. So now we have this on. Let's get my fabric. We're going to do this on the other end. We are going to put my button on. We're going to steady this right where the buttons are the buttonhole. The holes of the button are in between, right where that should be. And we're going to go back and do a normal zigzag stitch. So this is my first time using this one as well, but we're gonna try it. So okay, let's cut it. Did it? Oh my! It did secure my button. Okay, look at that. Secure button. This is me pulling it. So if I had a buttonhole with it, I could just go ahead and do that right off. So we are going to go ahead and cut up those back threads, see if it still stays on tightly, and it does. Okay, so that is good, and you only need to do a few, so you don't need to do a lot, which I think is perfect. But here are the finished products. So right here is the first stitch that we did. Here is the second stitch, third stitch, fourth stitch, fifth stitch, last stitch. which I think is wonderful. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe if you like this video. Stay tuned for more. Hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss a single video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.